A 15-year-old, the Premier and a car crash. 11 years on, there are so many questions surrounding what actually happened when Daniel Andrews' car collided with cyclist Ryan Muleman, nearly killing him. Now, a current affair has the bombshell 000 call that Andrews made in the minutes after the crash. Seb Costello joins me. Seb, Daniel Andrews has always claimed the cyclist hit him, but this sounds potentially different on this 000 call.
Ellie, this incident has been talked about now for more than a decade, and tonight we get fresh insights into the events of the day. This took place on the afternoon of January 7, 2013, and over the years, Daniel Andrews has repeatedly claimed the boy on the bike hit his car. This is a police statement Dan Andrews made in the weeks after the crash, back in 2013, and I read from it. It says in the statement, Dan Andrews, "I want to make it clear, the cyclist hit our vehicle." Well, this is the 000 call made minutes after the collision, where Daniel Andrews describes in the moment what has taken place.
What address, please?
On the corner of Ridley Street, Ridley,
Yes.
and Melbourne Road, Blair Gowrie.
Okay, and what's the problem there? Tell me exactly what happened.
We've turned right into Ridley Street, and
Yep.
a kid's come flying through on the bike path,
Yep.
and we've hit him.
Okay.
He's on the ground.
Yes. All right, are you with him now?
We are with him now.
Is there just one person that needs attendance for the ambulance?
one person
How
that
old
needs
is he?
He's a teenager.
Teenager?
I'd say he'd be, he's not
Roughly?
tall, he'd be 15.
We hit him. We just heard that there on the call.
Yes, we did, Ali. And that's what the boy has always claimed happened, but Mr. Andrews has never said anything like this since the incident. He has always claimed the bike hit the car carrying Kath and Dan Andrews.
And Seb, there are other details in this 000 call that raise further questions as to where was Dan Andrews when he made the call and how long was it after the crash?
Well, Ellie, my understanding is that witnesses heard the crash at about 1:02 p.m. The 000 call was then logged at 1:07, and I'll play some more of it now. You'll hear Mr. Andrews asked a lot of questions about what is going on at the time of this call.
Was someone else on the phone to the ambulance, maybe?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
My wife might be, but
Oh, no worries. We've just had a job pop in for Ridley Street, Blair Gowrie, for a similar thing, for a bike versus car. So I'd
Well, that's
say
the one.
it's the same job.
Well,
Now, so you're with him at the moment, obviously?
I'm just about 10 metres away trying to get a mobile phone signal.
No worries. And
my
sorry,
wife
how
is
old
with
did
him
you
at the
say he
moment.
was?
I reckon he's 15.
15. And is he conscious?
He's conscious, but he's in a lot of pain.
Right. And is he breathing?
He's breathing, yes.
Does he appear to be completely awake?
I can't answer. I think he's a little bit groggy.
No, that's fine. And is there any obvious injuries?
Not that I can see.
No worries. Is there any serious bleeding?
I don't believe so.
No worries. Is he complaining of pain anywhere?
He's in a lot of pain.
Where is he complaining of pain?
I'm not sure.
Oh, you're not sure. No worries.
So hang on, if he's 10 metres away, why doesn't he know if the boy is bleeding or if his wife's also calling 000?
That's a very worthy question for Mr. Andrews. Why doesn't he know for sure if Kath Andrews is on the phone at the same time? They were travelling together. Why would they both make 000 calls at the very same moment? And 10 metres seems close enough to see and hear what's going on and what other people are up to. Never mind, Mr. Andrews says in this statement that he walked back towards Melbourne Road to make the call, which is a busy road on the Mornington Peninsula, 80 k's per hour speed limit, particularly in January, holiday season. And yet there's no traffic noise on this 000 tape. Just raises more questions.
So Seb, Dan and Kath Andrews have been asked to hand over their phone records, but that would potentially fill in some holes.
That would certainly help complete the picture, Ali. Mr. Andrews did agree to hand the phone records over, but we haven't seen them yet. More than 10 years since this collision, and we're still waiting. We know a few things. We know Kath Andrews wasn't breath tested on the day, and we also know that Ryan Muleman's family won't stop seeking answers here.
Thanks, Seb. It's a lot to take in, and we have to remember at the centre of it, a teenage boy, Ryan Muleman. He was 15 at the time of the crash, and his father, Peter, joins me. Peter, you want this 000 call out there. Why?
I think every Australian deserves to hear what that 000 call is all about. Up until now, it had never been disclosed. So now, with all Australians being able to hear it, that transparency is there and they'll be able to make something of a judgment for themselves.
What did you think when you first heard the 000 call?
It was disturbing. It was chilling. As the father of the boy in that accident, it paints the picture. We relive it just about every day, and it vindicates my son's version of events, that with Andrews admitting on that call that we hit the boy, as opposed to my son hitting the car.
And that's it. It is different to what he said previously. We're yet to see his phone records from that day, and I guess the problem Dan Andrews has now, it casts doubt on his version of events.
I know what has occurred on that day and the facts that we've brought forward and the evidence that we've produced are painting a clearer picture of that, and they're certainly contradictory to what he said in that phone call.
Because, Peter, what I think is often missed in all of this is your poor son Ryan, the victim. I mean, he was just a kid at the time and he is still struggling.
Yeah, it's been a long road for my son and he is still recovering from that, both mentally and a little bit physically. But yeah, he was 15 at the time. Here we are 10 years down the track. We're trying desperately to give him an opportunity to get a life back.
Can you just remind us of what his injuries were and what that recovery looked like?
He lost his spleen on the day. He had some rib damage and some lung damage.
He was airlifted to hospital and there was some doubt as to whether or not he would make it. But what does Ryan say happened that day?
Ryan's version of events has always been that the car hit him and that the car came, in his words, out of nowhere and collected him in the side and sent him into the windscreen and over the back of the car onto the road.
Do you know why he was never formally interviewed by police about what happened?
No, and that's a really good question. They did not ask my son what happened. They didn't ask the neighbour who heard the screech of tyres what happened. They didn't ask the witness in the car behind of her version of events.
Your son wasn't asked for a statement. Catherine Andrews, who claims she was the one driving at the time, wasn't breathalyzed, and it's why so many years on from this accident, so many questions are still being asked.
We're really asking Victoria Police to reopen that investigation in the light of the new evidence and new facts.
I know your number one job has always been to protect your son Ryan. I don't think people really understand exactly what he has gone through since that accident.
It's affected him greatly. It's taken away 10 years of his life, and it's putting him into a shell and into a dark place for the last decade. But to have him see all these people around him fighting for him to get some truth there, to get some justice for him, has really strengthened him as well.
If we want this sorted once and for all, we need complete transparency from all involved. We really appreciate your time, Peter, and please send Ryan our love.
Thank you, will do.
And this recording certainly raises questions that Daniel Andrews surely will need to answer at some point. We tried to contact him to give him that opportunity this afternoon. We reached out via email, but we've had no responses yet. To be fair, it is the end of the week and he may well not have seen our request as yet.